don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop.
Hey, greetings from Louisville. It is a stormy day here, so if the power goes out, it will go dark quickly and I will have to end the video and restart. But hopefully we will keep power and I will get to finish this video. I've got a lot of lights on in my studio right now because it is dark outside. In this video, I'm going to be going over using your student grade type pencils. I'm using Crayolas. This is what I have. A lot of my friends here in town use these, and I've had some questions as to how to create different effects with using the hard wax pencils, especially that most student grades are. So I'm going to be showing that. There are several videos online that say, yes, you can use student grade pencils to do this, but they don't show you how. So in this one, we're going to be working through doing some different effects with your student grades. And all I've used is Crayolas with this. Now, as you notice, with a Crayola, you're not going to get the deep, vivid color. It's really, really hard. This is me laying down, and you do end up having to push hard. If I touch this, I can feel where I had to push in, and my paper is indented just to even get to this value and intensity. Also, another thing, your reds, this is about as red as you're gonna get. This is the true red in the Crayola, and that is me working it in, adding even a teeny bit of orange into it, trying to get it off of that pink, but this is what they do. So know that going into it. Don't frustrate yourself a ton. Know that this is your art for your own personal enjoyment. Enjoy it, don't stress out, and don't try to achieve something that's going to be nearly impossible to achieve, and you'll just drive yourself nuts in the process. One of the things I have learned in working with these, and I've done a little bit here just to get my hand back in it, I'm used to using these again, is that you do not want your pencils ultra sharp when you are doing the basic all over and doing the first gradient that you will do with them. It's really hard to get a smooth coverage even using your little circles, because if you want to get it filled in evenly, you don't want to use lines, you want to fill in with little circles. You'll end up getting harsh lines in your circle. So if you have a softer point with it, it's a lot easier to keep that soft edge as you're going through, and it'll blend in easier. Then once you've got that basic in, then sharpen your pencils, and you can add in a stronger line where you want those really deep shades to be in the shadows. I'm just doing some jewels here. I liked this one because it had symmetrical pieces in it, so I can show you each one of these as I went through. You can pick a couple of different shades in the same color family to get a jewel looking really fun and cool. I will link to a video by Peta Hewitt where she shows doing jewels too. She has a great video on that. So I'm just gonna sit down now and start working. I'm gonna do the biggest one first. That one right here in the center. I have seen that one as being blue, so I've got 4 blue pencils right here. I'll set them right here. With this picture, I liked this one, and I picked it because it had these lines in the background. And when you're creating a piece, this is an easy way to look and think, where does it make sense for my light source to be? It makes sense for my light source to be here and coming this way. I have all these lines back here to remind me which way is my light source. So I'm setting up my light source here. Sometimes if I don't have easy visuals like that when I'm first getting started with a piece, I will take my sharpener and set my sharpener where the light source is going to be. Or I've got an extra little lamp off camera right here, and I could set that. So I have an actual light source there reminding me this is where your light source is, so I can think through where my highlights and my shadows are gonna be. Also, never hesitate to look online or to grab something like in real life. I have kids, so they have those big gems like for play. So if I wanted, I could go grab one of those to kind of see how light plays on it. With this not being a true exact picture, you can see these are all kinds of crazy shapes in here. I wasn't too worried about being photorealistic with this. I just thought it would be fun to have some do gemstones and show some basic shading techniques and color on these. So what I'm doing here is I'm starting with my base shade, which for me, I saw this as a sapphire, so you can see I'm using my little circles. I've got my blue pencil, and I'm just going in and filling it all in. With these not having a super deep, intense color, I do not like to leave white in any spot on these. I will use my color to fill in every spot because I need every bit of color in this. If I was using my other pencils where I can get more color into it, I would maybe leave one of these white or part of it white, even in the shading. So you can see here, I'm thinking about my light source coming this way, so I'm filling in a little bit darker and a little bit darker here. Still just using my little circles. Now to get it to that shade, I'm having to push pretty hard, and I'm coming in back here on the back edge. And you can see I'm using those lines to follow that edge so it goes right up to the edge. And I am having to press. But start light, and you can always come back and add in more. You don't want to start heavy. So I'm doing light here. And so that's got that started. I will come back to that here in a few minutes, and I'll show you one of my ways to blend using Crayolas in a minute. And I'm gonna think about which one of these then would be the highest highlight, and it would be this guy's catching the light the most. So I'm gonna make sure that this facet right here is my lightest shade of blue. And you see I started a little bit heavier, farthest away from the light source, and went to barely touching the paper by the time I reached the outer edge. I'm gonna add in now a little more up in here. And I am just touching the paper as lightly as I can. And I'll probably come back and revisit that one here in a minute once I see all of them together. I'm gonna use a darker shade now, one shade darker. This one in the Crayola is light blue. Forget that the Crayolas have their names on them. Okay. You can always go in and add more. Remember that as you're doing these. This one's going to be my blue, like I did the center facet. Right there. Now, I'm going to go ahead and start thinking, where is my darkest shade? Now, if my light source is coming in here, this would be my darkest point on this. So I'm going to take my dark, and this is a navy blue. Go ahead and add in that. Still doing my little circles. Still going around. Okay. Now I'm going to go in and start working the shadows in. And I'm going to take my regular blue on top of this as well. And this one's pretty dark. I want it to be the darkest. Now I'm going to add in this other straight blue. It just says blue. The other one was navy blue. I do think it's interesting when you have them next to each other. The regular blue does look a little darker than the navy blue. I'm going to just add in the shade on top of it. You can see how that changes it pretty quickly. I'm also going to come in, and I mean, you're going to have to work it in get that shadow down in there. Not a light touch on that, but it's worth it to get it in there. And you can see how we're getting this gradient. I have not used any white. I am not going to use white on gemstones because I don't want them to be milky. And so we'll come to this in a minute. I'll show you how I blend in just a minute. So let's see here. I use my regular blue here again. circles, and I have not sharpened my pencils once. I've been able to actually keep my tips pretty soft. I haven't needed to go in and lay in hard. But after I blend here in a minute, I'll probably come back and revisit these with a really sharp tip to get in there. And then we will put in this one here. I'm going to show you, I'm going to change it just a little bit. Real lightly. See, I adjusted how I was holding it because when I went in the first time, it was making not soft strokes, but harder lines, and I didn't want that. Now with Crayolas, your first shade will be the strongest the stronger shade that you lay down, because with these being so hard. Let's see here, we've got dark with the light blue combined, regular blue, navy and regular blue. I'm thinking what I want to put in here. I'm gonna do light blue with my regular blue over here. Thinking about my light source, this corner right here is where it will be shaded. My regular blue now. First lightly all over, then I'll come in and add in harder where the shadow is. Again, knowing that this is the darker side of it. Now I'm going to use just my straight up light blue for this top. Okay. Really get that shadow in there. See, I mean, I'm pushing as hard as I can. There's not a whole lot of gradient there. And if you notice that, you can always come in with a darker pencil and add in a little bit more. You want to up the contrast. So I've got a basic in here, a basic color in here. I do not have any blending done. And you could use a blending pencil. With this, I have one, but I'm doing this all with Crayolas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look in my set here, and I used this sky blue to come in and work to blend my shades in. And it does a neat job because once I start doing this, I can push with it and go all over. And I'm actually using this one, pressing pretty firmly, to come in and be my blender. It's the same theory as why you use your white as your blender, just using a color instead. You typically will pick one of the lighter shades. If I used a darker shade in this, that would be creating a whole lot of shadow all over it. With Crayolas being so hard, one of the things you can do with them, if you use artist grades, is you can use these as blenders in your pieces too, just like you use your white for white burnishing. So you can see some of my shadows have blended out a little bit, so I will go back in now in just a minute, and with the sharp pencil, Really work those in. But you can see the idea of them is still there, so that going back and adding them in. So I am sharpening my straight blue. And I'm just gonna come in here and work that in. Right there. And I'm actually gonna use the darker blue, the one in the middle here. Give a little contrast. So I've got a crazy sharp point in here. Happy sapphire here in this necklace. And I'm finishing out. Oh, the lights are flickering. Please keep power. Storm, for the most part, is past us. It's still raining, but not out of the city yet, so sometimes losing it in one area cause it to spiral, so I'm just hoping we keep our power. Let's see what a nice strong line is really getting there with that. Right there, I like that. That's a good color. Sometimes your pencils can surprise you. I'm going back in here with some of these just to kind of help define the colors and make them look a little different. That guy's so sharp. So there you go, there is a basic sapphire that was all done in Crayola. You could go back in with your gel pen and just pick a spot where the sun is hitting. The gel pen needs cleaned off real quick. I got a piece of scrap paper here. Clean it off. I'll just add in that quick little blip right here. A little bit of that sparkle coming off of that right there. There we go, and that gives you the idea of a gem, all done in budget student grade pencils. If you have liked this video, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I post videos pretty regularly on different coloring topics, painting, different adventures my family have. We've kind of got a wide variety of videos that go up. And if you have an idea for something you would like to hear about, please shoot me a comment. Or if you use Crayolas on a regular basis and have some great tips to share, I would love to hear them. I don't use these as much, and so I'm not as well versed in the different things that you can do with them, but just trying to show that you can create really pretty works of art in your coloring books with them. I think that has about all of it for today. Remember that art happens in everyday life, so make sure you're looking for it and take moments to create. Bye.